Hello everyone, my name is Mahdi and I am here with Quranic truth number 13. Arafat in current day Mecca in Saudi Arabia does not fit the Quranic description of Hajj. According to the Quran, the pilgrims would land directly in front of the Kaaba on their way back from Arafat. Consequently, Arafat and the Kaaba must be in the same precinct. They have to be in the same area. Let's look at verse 97 of chapter 5 in the Quran. Allah has made the Kaaba the sacred house, al-Bayt al-Haram, standing for the mankind, and the sacred months, and the sacrificial animals, and the garlands. So this verse actually lists some of Hajj symbols. It mentions Kaaba, it mentions forbidden and sacred months, it mentions sacrificial animals and garlands. However, amongst all Hajj symbols, it is only the Kaaba that Allah declares as sacred or haram. Let's look at verse number 37 of chapter 14. Our Lord, I have settled some of my descendants in an uncultivated valley near your sacred house in the Baca al-Haram, that they may establish prayer. So make hearts among the people inclined towards them and provide for them from the fruits that they might be grateful. Once again, amongst all Hajj symbols, it is only the Kaaba that Allah declares as sacred in the Quran. And Mash'arul Haram means sacred or forbidden symbol. So let's look at verse 198 from chapter 2. It says, there is no sin on you that you seek the grace of your Lord by trading. Later, when you flow out from Arafat, it's very important. It's not say after you have returned from Arafat. It says when you flow out from Arafat, then remember Allah at the sacred symbol, i.e. the Kaaba, the sacred symbol. Mash'ar al-Haram, it means basically the sacred or the forbidden symbol, which is the Kaaba. I showed you two verses before that Allah in the Quran says that Kaaba is the sacred or forbidden symbol. And remember him just like he has guided you by remembering you. For indeed you were before among those lost. So Quran specifies the Kaaba as the only sacred symbol of Hajj. The pilgrims would stop by the Kaaba on their way back from Arafat to worship and remember Allah. It says when they flow out of Arafat, as if it's water, it's the same flow, it's a flow that flows out of Arafat and lands right in front of the Kaaba. So they were geographically in the same area. So that is impossible in the current mosque in Saudi Arabia. That is absolutely impossible. So let's look at verse number 199 from chapter 2. It says, then flow out from where people flow out and seek forgiveness from Allah. Certainly Allah is all forgiving, all merciful. So pilgrims would return from Arafat, would flow out of Arafat. On their way back, they would land and stop by the Kaaba. They would then flow out and exit the precinct. They would exit the sacred area, the area of al-Masjid al-Haram. Allah commands the pilgrims to flow out together from the precincts. The Kaaba and Arafat were in the same enclosed precinct with one gateway that people could easily flow in and out of. This is really, really important. Allah makes it very, very clear for us, lest we go astray. Gives us a very good description so we can picture, we can imagine the Hajj in our minds, and we can see how it was. And it's quite obvious that Arafat and Kaaba, they were in the same area. So let's look at the Quranic flow of Hajj without considering days and time. So pilgrims would enter the precinct from the specified entrance or exit. Then they would perform tawaf around the Safa and the Marwah. That was optional. So remember, Quran does not mention any sa'i, it's tawaf. They would perform tawaf around the Safa and the Marwah. Then they would perform tawaf around the Kaaba, just like the Safa and the Marwah. Then they would go to Arafat. This is a flow. And then they would return. They would flow out of Arafat. They would return from Arafat. And on their way back, they would stop by the Kaaba, the sacred symbol, and they would remember Allah. Then they would all flow out from the specified entrance or exit. They would exit from the same place. So the entire Hajj ritual takes place in one single area with one single entrance that pilgrims were supposed to enter and exit from. It is impossible in the current mosque in Saudi Arabia. It's just not set up that way. So let's look at Arafat in current day Saudi Arabia. As you can see, this is the hill they call currently Mount Arafat, and this is the mosque that they call Masjid al-Haram over there. They're about 18.34 kilometers away. So it would take almost 6-7 hours for the pilgrims to walk back. It's almost impossible. Again, one more time, right now, if you had to walk, it would take you almost 6 hours to walk back and forth from Arafat to Kaaba. It just doesn't work. Arafat in current day Mecca in Saudi Arabia does not fit the Quranic description of Hajj. According to the Quran, the pilgrims would land directly in front of the Kaaba on their way back from Arafat. Consequently, Arafat and the Kaaba must be in the same precinct. They have to be in the same area. I hope you learned something from this Quranic truth. I have a full video, a Quranic conversation about this topic. So if you would like to learn more about this topic, I put the link in the description. Please click on it and watch it. And as always, please do not forget to encourage good and discourage evil. Amr bil ma'ruf wa nahy anil munkar by sharing this video. Thank you everyone for watching.